Hello guys, today I just wanted to read out the story of the Devil's Moon event in Hand Showdown, which is still running for 10 days from this day on. I hope you're gonna enjoy it. Sit back, relax, make sure you give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Activate the bell for notifications. So, first of all, how did you like the event, guys? Was it more grindy than the other ones, or was it better? How did you like the story in particular? I must say I haven't really been diving down into the storyline of this event yet, so I've only managed to read the first two, I think, or first three chapters. So we're gonna explore it together, I think. I'll do a separate video of it, um, where I try to explain it and maybe my opinion on it and stuff. If you want to see that, of course. So yeah, just let me know in the comments. Okay. Chapter 1. Clipping from the New Orleans True Crescent. Authors unknown. New Spirit 4 times 3 in. Lunar fever takes over the New Orleans. The talk of the town has been the moon this week, as fans of the Simon Moore flock to the stands for their copy of the Lunar Diaboli periodical. Readers young and old have been enraptured by the telltales of the young champion Kevin as he fights that dastardly Cherry and the horrors he's brought to our very own New Orleans that changed the Bayou forever. The True Crescent had the opportunity to talk with Mr. Moore about what's next in the thrilling serial, and while he can't tell us much, he promised us that there will be a terrible plan to stop Cherry once and for all. We're burning with excitement. Mama? Papa? I don't know if you're reading over my shoulder while you're watching over me, but I'm scared. Everything hurts, but I've got too many people to protect now. I can't stop. It's not all that bad. I've met so many interesting folks. They fight for me. They fight with me. And they try their best to convince others to fight at my side too. But it's getting harder. I think every person we get to help us only means that he's gotten two more. And more blood keeps spilling, and more bodies keep piling, and I can't help but know it's my fault. I wish I could give up. I wish that I could let the others take care of the rest, but I can't. When I ever think about stopping, feels like something is crawling in my head. It whispers, only stops when I keep moving forward. It'll end soon, all of this. We've figured it out how to kill him. I think, I'm not sure. But once it's done, maybe I can rest. I can go back home. Maybe I can bring my new friends with me too. It would be nice to sit by the pond and listen to all their stories. But right now, I should focus on this fight. I can have a chance of attacking him there. So, Mama, Papa, please keep watching over me a little while longer.
Now, I do not know if I'll be able to replicate the experiment. You see, the pieces will stay the same, but the amounts are all a bit hazy. But this is it. This is everything I've been working towards. So many sacrifice, so many fighting, all for this moment. The sculptor will be nothing to fear. Louisiana will be remembered for ending these incursions once and for all. And if I were to give rough estimates, 2 parts hive womb, around 1,000 milliliters of venom. The essence extracted from several bounties of Mr. Orsica are a must. From there, I suppose you mix in enough. And the inoculation takes care of the rest. How fascinating. The vocal cord still needs some healing. What a pretty thing she was. Such a shame. But at least now she'll have brought enough to make up for the loss of beauty. Oh, shh. dear. Relax and recuperate. Now, when you're ready, you and I will have much work to do, so save your energy. Now, Mr. Chenkov, listen very carefully. A young man...
Cautionary tales for the child folk. Beware of Chenkov's widow. Where the Louisiana lady known how hard it can be to get a little rascal to say in their bed at night or to stop them from wandering too far. Give them something that will take pause the next time they want to go stray with all the tale, sure to give them goose flesh. This month we give you a story sure to keep your kids close to home with Ochenko's widow. Deep in the night, have you heard the wailing, the sobs and the oddly pitched screams that hurts your ears and sets them ringing? Then you've just heard the fearsome widow for yourself. Some say that if you catch her gaze, you'll start weeping enough to fill an empty sea. Others say she's stronger than 10 men and could rip 20 men in half with her bare hands. The latter must be true, considering her self-same responsibility for becoming a widow. All the newspapers in New Orleans were full of news of Mary when her husband was found massacred, his chest raggedly open and his heart stolen. By the time the body was discovered, Mary Ochenkov had long since disappeared, but months later, something unfathomable transpired. Close to Mary's home, there were several accounts of people hearing cries in the night. None dared to find the source of the cries, none but one who had an unfortunate close encounter and who said, "When you get close to Mary, her neck creaks like a metal, and she lets out a wail that could make a strong man pass out. And then she comes at you with a knife in the hand." After that, there were many more encounters with the widow, but few lived to tell the tale. But those few all have one thing to say. Don't go wandering around at night, and don't go talking to any stranger, because Ochenkov's widow might catch you and bring your heart to the brazier. Kevin, the roots of evil deepen, and after what I learned from Dr. John, I fear we might need to prepare ourselves for the least expected if we are to survive. Resort to means long denied. We have yet to understand the nature of this monster, that man, for the evil in him exceeds everything I know. There is still hope. Dr. John was hesitant to tell me until he consulted the bones, and even then I doubt he was certain. Through Cherry's claims, his intentions are good, his actions prove otherwise. His total self-absorption and ambitious cloud his own mind, yet make him a strong-willed adversary. But even the toughest rock can be broken, and the mortal shell his soul resides in is not resistant to everything. All living things, natural or not, need something to function. For us, or rather for our primal bodies, blood is the essence of life and death, depending on the treatment. To manipulate one's soul, we first need to crack open the shell and reach the essence. For this, we need treated oleander leaves burned in a quite high quantity at the devil's hour, a poisonous inferno, a hellfire, as Dr. John called it. If we burn enough herbs, the fumes can weaken him from within, though this alone can't be enough to kill him. But at the very least, the smell of oleander will tell those who've been taken his infernal pact that we will be triumphant, and they are not the only ones who can ravage with fire. But this is where it becomes unspeakable. The treatment of oleander requires its leaves to be boiled in the blood of the pure, and just as evil can only be defeated by righteousness. Dr. John is reluctant to let me leave, but Cora promised to carry this letter with you. Until then, be careful. C.
New captives arrived today, and Cherry brought them again to the dirt circle where it all began. Brutal thing, the process. Long stakes driven into the eyes to keep them in place while Cherry calmly covers their body in a clay he prepared. I don't understand how they live so long through it. Then it solidifies, creates a protective layer on the body while the souls ripen, as Cherry says. It takes a few days, but once the soul is ready, the back of the clay structure slits open like a mouth, a black crevasse, an abyss. But there's never a trace of a body in it. And the sound those things make, it keeps me awake in the nights, gives me unspeakable nightmares. Cherry says he needs those things to reach souls. I don't know what he means, and I'm afraid to ask again. I dared ask once, and he smirked when I did. Then, his face quickly changed when I asked if the boy's company or other hunters could also reave the souls. He looked me in the eye for a few seconds before saying he had a plan. The next day, he gathered his lot and asked them to help those poor souls, explained that it would leave a mark somewhere on their body. If they managed to get to one of his collection points with those marks, they would gain his favor and unimaginable rewards. That man is a true master of manipulation. Unsurprisingly, hunters once again gave in to their greed, and now I have 437 new names on my ledger. Business is booming. After all, they have no use of the name they've been called before. He was speaking to that thing, a soul trap. After a few seconds, I could see the mark form on the back of his neck. How do they know about these structures? I don't know what Cherry plans to do. And I don't care as long as I have more names and a hefty price for each. But I need to stay vigilant.
The citizens of New Orleans worry as strange fires ignite the bayou. Around 5 o'clock p.m. yesterday, supper was interrupted as smoke began to billow from all directions towards the city. Large wildfires have engulfed parts of the bayou. Local firefighters are unconcerned as the affected areas are of low importance. The true Christian does not yet know the cause of these fires, but it is unlikely that they are natural. Poultryman comments on fires. Many are concerned for their land and business near wildfire outbreaks, but not poultryman William Moses, whose land is directly affected by the wildfires, who was seen leaving town heavily armed. The true Christian approaches him for comment. I don't plan on leaving my home, even when I'm dead and gone. You old cowards can stay home. You're not wanted no way and no how. Moses refuses to speak further on the matter. The chaos surrounding the boy and the man stopped in an instant. Guns were lowered and all stood in the as they listened to Cherry's wretched screams, for Kevin's fingers were sinking into the administrator's skull. The smell of the burning oleander hung heavy in the air. There was no blood, only licks of flame, as Cherry's skin and bones parted like paper to make way for Kevin's fingers. It had worked. Cherry's invulnerability was broken. The violation was absolutely maddening. Let it end, Kevin said with an eerie calm. Let it end for both of us. Kevin's request was then answered. He coughed up blood as Maryochenkov's hand plunged into his back, her fingers finding purchase on his heart. Snakes creeped around her hands and twined themselves round her arm, sinking their fangs wherever they could, but she paid no attention. If she ever wanted relief, to find her sanity, be in control, get back Peter, she would have to fulfill her last task. She squeezed. Pop! The spectators couldn't quite hear it as much as felt it. Kevin felt his own relief wash over. Ochenkov's released the boy's heart, and he fell on the ground, his head, eyes wide open, and a calm smile on his face. Landed with a thud to stare at Moses. Cyrus cursed. Cherry, kneeling, panting, slowly erupted into a laugh of triumph. He unnaturally sprung onto his feet, wafting away the plunges of the Orlando smoke that moments before had brought him to his knees. Wonderful, my girl, simply amazing, Cherry said as he grabbed Ochenkov's blood-soaked hand. He lifted it into the air and addressed his attackers, stunned by Kevin's death. To think I was ever worried, Cherry guffened. No child can stop us, no moon, no sculpture. Our dear Mary's transformation has proven it. This is the power we needed, and it shall only grow from here. Dozens dead in fires. The number of those killed in the recent wildfires is growing by the day. While many are beyond recognition, the True Crescent can today publish the names of 8 more deceased: Louis Burns, Amulet Gap, Murr James, Cadian Laundrie, Kevin Linus, Leola Skid, Louetta Williams, and Rosanna Winston. And God shall wipe away all the tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. A public memorial service will be arranged in the coming weeks. In the cool and the dark, Kevin opened his eyes. There was nothing but a soft glow. No pain, no Cherry, no moon. Just him. He took a few cautious steps forward, testing his balance. He started walking for minutes, days it seemed, but it didn't matter. The calm washed over him. And then 2 silhouettes, a man and a woman. Kevin didn't let himself hope, but he ran to them. Amelia and Robert Linus, his mother and father. Kevin wrapped his arms around them, and they wrapped their arms around him in turn. He crumbled on the ground, and they crumbled with him. Is it okay now? Can I be with you again, Mama? Kevin sobbed, his face flushing with every fallen tear. His crying showed what he had hidden for a while, something that to keep going he'd forgotten. His age. My sweet baby, I'm sorry. Amelia kissed the crown of her child's head. There's still more to do, and you're still much too young to be here now. Kevin looked to his mother in confusion. Kevin, you have to go back. You have to see this to the end. And I don't mean just killing that man, Robert began. It won't end with him. Things will keep on coming until you get the root of the problem. Kevin's father stroked his hair. And you're young, Scout. There's so much more living left for you to do. Can you hold out just a little longer? Kevin's mother asked. The boy was quiet for a moment, then nodded. You always told me that I have to keep my word, and I will. With that, Kevin held his parents in a tight hug. They returned it with everything they could muster. We love you. Now go get him. It's all strange, fascinating, and sick. A system imperfect that keeps itself running based on a status quo that even the most wicked vote not to break. And then one man enters. He works his way up the metaphorical ladder and nestles himself into a position at the top just to tip it all over. It can sacredly say who did it first, who started the inferno, the hellfire, the devil's hour. There's just too much chaos to get an accurate testimony before the fools burn themselves up. The so-called lunar-pegged, moon-crazed have been lighting fire with bundles of herb, like they're smoking something out of the rancid smoke. The infernal pact are doing what they can to destroy the bodies killed in the crossfire, building pyres that churn folks into ash. I've yet to witness all this by myself, but I know that whoever caused the fires are destroying the work of future archaeologists, researchers, and academics. They're turning history to a black void, an abyss into which many will lose their minds developing into. And all because of one man who wormed his way in. For now, it doesn't stop me and my work. Hello. You do not know me, we haven't met yet, but I am told we will. I hope we speak the same language. I am told you have experience with monsters and more terrible things. The same things that happened where you are, they have been happening here for a while, even though there are oceans between us. Things that can't be explained. If my friends are to believe, it is worse here in Louisiana than anywhere else. And it's spreading. There are rumors and spreading. The American Hunter Association wanted to keep this to themselves, but they're losing control. And if someone doesn't step in, we're all goners. I know you have no reason to care. I know you have no reason to help. But if even a small part of you wants to come to New Orleans, please follow it. We're a small group, but we're growing, and I promise we'll do anything we can to repay your kindness. When you call me, I will answer. When you are ready, I will be waiting. May your light keeps you, Linus. To all hunters, this is with great sadness that the Louisiana branch of the American Hunter Association can no longer sustain itself. Though it may outlive me, not for long. There are those that would see the sculpture thrive in our home. Our administration cannot respond to correspondence at this time, and we must take action against those terrorizing our group. It is no secret that our influence has been waning. Others are paying bounties, providing arms, and have their own beliefs. This chaos has allowed the problem to fester, and now these damned pacts are holding more sway. There's one conclusion. They too will soon burn out. Representatives from both eastern and western branches have been called to lend their strength against those who seek to undermine our mission. I fear it will not be long enough. Though hidden, our arm in the AHA has always been a pillar of New Orleans, Louisiana, and the South itself. I hope some of you will join me in continuing that fight. In service, Dr. Elwood Finch, Director, American Hunters Association. Well, there you have it, guys. That was the chapter story of the Devil's Moon event. I hope that you liked this video. Maybe you can comment on your thinking about the storyline of this event. What do you reckon? What is this ending like? Is it a good ending? Is it a bad ending? I do have to say I must read this again and again because well, it's quite a story, and we have to really dive into the other two events as well to really fully understand it. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you could understand everything. If you've got any other things you might want me to cover or talk about, leave a comment down below. Make sure you give the video a like and subscribe to my channel for future videos of Hunt Showdown. Until then, happy hunting, guys.